Have you ever walked away from a relationship or situation, leaving such an impact that the other person felt your absence profoundly? It's a bewildering yet empowering experience. When you choose your own well-being, those you leave behind suddenly see your true value. Their regret and the void you leave behind speak volumes more than your constant presence ever could. Today we delve into the psychology behind this phenomenon. Why does our absence often feel more significant than our constant presence? The great philosopher Seneca once said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." Similarly, walking away is an act of courage. It's a stand for your self-respect and worth, reshaping not just your own emotional landscape, but also that of those you leave behind, igniting a newfound respect and desire that was previously unnoticed. Join me as we explore how stepping back can enhance how others see you and how you see yourself, boosting your independence and drawing others to your newfound strength. Let's dive deep into the transformative power of prioritizing yourself. Here's a challenge for you. If you're ready to embrace your power, comment below with, "Your absence speaks louder." It's not just a statement, it's a testament to your strength and resolve to be unforgettable. Show the world and yourself that you're stepping up, making your absence felt more profoundly than ever. Imagine a scenario where you've consistently put more effort into a relationship than the other person. Despite everything, their appreciation never matches your effort. Finally, you decide enough is enough. You walk away, focusing on your own growth. What happens next is fascinating. The dynamics change. The one who took you for granted realizes the emptiness left by your absence. Why does this shift happen? It relates to a basic psychological principle. We fear loss more than we value gain. Once you're gone, the fear of loss kicks in, which can be a powerful realization for both parties involved. This transformation isn't just about them recognizing your worth. It's about you rediscovering your own. By choosing your well-being, you send a powerful message. Your happiness and worth do not depend on anyone else. You control your value. Now let's open this up. Think of a time you had to walk away from something or someone. How did you feel before, and what changed after? Share your experiences in the comments. Engaging with these personal stories helps us all learn and grow together, reinforcing our community here. As we continue, keep in mind a key lesson from the Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, who taught us to focus only on what we can control. By walking away, you choose not to let external situations dictate your peace and contentment. Reflect on your experiences of walking away and reclaiming your power. How have these actions reshaped your life, your relationships, and your perception of self-worth and independence? Let's discuss and uncover more insights together. Number 1. Understanding the initial shock. When you choose to exit someone's life, it triggers a significant and startling reaction, not merely due to the void created, but because of the profound ripples it generates in the other person's emotional and psychological realms. Picture this. One moment you are a familiar presence in their narrative, and the next, you vanish. It's akin to a crucial movie scene being abruptly omitted, which leaves the viewers, and in this analogy, the person you've parted from, stunned by the unexpected turn in the storyline. The initial jolt can be compared to a magician who deftly pulls a tablecloth from underneath a fully set table, causing a brief suspended moment of disbelief before the inevitable collapse. Why is this shock so profound? It stems from our intrinsic nature as creatures of habit who rely on consistency and predictability. The abrupt departure of someone fundamental to our routine shakes the very foundation of our emotional stability. As the philosopher Seneca insightfully observed, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. This Stoic wisdom teaches us to view endings not merely as losses, but as transitions. This perspective might not be apparent during the initial shock, but is essential for adapting to and understanding the change. This stage is pivotal because it often marks the first instance individuals must face their reliance on external validation alone. They are compelled to look inward, possibly realizing for the first time how much their sense of value depended on another's affirmation. To inject a touch of levity, it's like suddenly discovering you were part of a duet when you believed you were performing a solo. As one grapples with this upheaval, Stoicism offers timeless lessons in resilience. Marcus Aurelius once declared, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This principle empowers those left behind to govern their responses, finding fortitude in their adaptability and reactions rather than in the circumstances that befall them. But what precisely transpires during this shock? Initially, one may experience a surge of emotions, confusion, grief, anger, and sometimes a mix of relief and guilt. These responses are natural and expected. Imagine yourself as a character whose narrative suddenly shifts genres without warning. The disorientation you'd feel mirrors the essence of the initial shock. During this phase, it's vital to refrain from impulsive decisions or drastic changes until the emotional turbulence has calmed. It's comparable to navigating through dense fog. The wisest move is to remain stationary, breathe, and wait for visibility to improve. Now, let's explore strategies for managing this shock in a Stoic manner. First, there's the practice of acceptance. This doesn't imply resignation, but involves recognizing the reality of the situation without succumbing to overwhelming emotions or desperation. Much like a tree swaying with the breeze to avoid snapping, cultivating flexibility and resilience in thoughts and actions helps lessen the shock's impact. Next is the power of reflection. This period calls for deep, sometimes challenging introspection. It's about posing difficult questions. What part did I play in this situation? What lessons can I glean from it? This isn't about assigning fault, but about evolving and enriching one's understanding through the ordeal. Picture yourself assembling a puzzle, only to realize the pieces you have no longer fit. It's frustrating indeed, but also an opportunity to seek out new pieces that might complete a more fulfilling picture. To conclude with a motivational note, if you're the one left behind, remember, this is not merely an ending but a pivotal twist in your narrative. Your value is not lessened by another's failure to recognize it. Like a phoenix rising from its ashes, use this shock as a catalyst to fuel your transformation into a stronger, more self-reliant individual. Drop a comment below and share your experiences with such shocks and how you moved beyond them. Did you discover strengths you never knew you had? Let's cultivate a community where our collective stories uplift and unite us. In our next discussion, we'll delve into how this initial shock evolves into a period of reflection and ultimately fosters a deeper self-awareness. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the profound implications of parting ways, guided by the wisdom of the Stoics. Number 2, self-reflection triggered by loss. After the initial shock starts to diminish, the individual who is left behind enters a profound and often rigorous phase of self-reflection. It's as though they transform into philosophical detectives, unraveling the enigmas of their own existence. Picture this scenario. You've just misplaced a crucial piece of a puzzle you were meticulously assembling. Initially, there might be a frantic scramble to locate it, but eventually you find yourself pondering its significance. Is there a way to complete the picture differently? This analogy mirrors the self-reflective process following a significant loss, analyzing the reasons behind missing elements in one's life. During this period, the individual may sift through past memories, identifying moments of happiness, strife, and disconnection. It's akin to rewatching a familiar film, but seeking hidden layers and meanings in each frame. Critical questions arise. Was my happiness genuine? What compromises did I make? How might I approach things differently in the future? This introspective journey is crucial as it illuminates personal values and needs more distinctly than when one was part of a duo. Seneca's advice resonates profoundly here. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. Triggered by loss, self-reflection becomes a daily practice of learning from past experiences to forge a more promising future. This educational process isn't always comfortable. It might feel like realizing you've been wearing overly tight shoes. The real relief comes in recognizing that you're no longer obligated to wear them. Injecting humor into this self-reflection can also alleviate its intensity, akin to looking back at old photographs with questionable fashion choices and wondering, what was I thinking? Laughing at past mistakes can make the underlying lessons more palatable. This phase is essential for emotional maturation, akin to dusting off neglected corners of one's self-awareness. As individuals sift through emotional remnants, they begin to clear space for new, healthier connections. This process is similar to decluttering a cluttered garage, daunting and messy, but the newfound space is immensely rewarding. This mental clearing enables a clearer approach to future relationships, better understanding one's desires and what one can offer. Writing plays a significant role in this phase, providing a medium to document thoughts and feelings, a chalkboard for the mind, allowing for continual revisions as understanding deepens. I encourage everyone to share their experiences in the comments below. Have you undergone intense self-reflection after a loss? What insights did you gain about yourself? Sharing these stories not only promotes healing, but also inspires and educates others. As we conclude this discussion on self-reflection triggered by loss, bear in mind that every reflection, realization, and reassessment draws you closer to the person you are destined to become. It's not merely about moving past experiences, it's about advancing towards a future with a clearer understanding of your own needs and aspirations. In our next session, we'll delve into how this enhanced self-awareness influences personal growth and independence. Stay tuned as we continue to dissect the transformative impacts of parting ways. Number 3, realization of value. This stage marks a pivotal moment for those left behind as they begin to truly appreciate what the departed brought to their lives, a recognition that often only crystallizes in their absence. Imagine losing your favorite watch. It was always on your wrist, so ubiquitous that its presence was almost forgotten, until it wasn't there. Suddenly, every glance at your empty wrist reminds you of what you've lost, and the value of that watch becomes strikingly apparent. Similarly, in human relationships, when someone exits, the everyday exchanges that were once overlooked suddenly cease, and their absence looms large. This awareness may surface gradually. Initially, there might be a sense of relief or a defensive stance, thinking, I don't need them anyway. However, as time progresses, the contributions and virtues of the one who left become increasingly apparent. It's akin to noticing that every movie you watch now lacks a beloved, yet previously unremarked scene. This phase leads to a renewed appreciation for the stability, support, or joy that the person added to your life. A relevant thought from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus resonates here. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. This maxim encourages a shift from mourning the loss to valuing and being thankful for the shared experiences and time. This realization also sparks a reflection on the importance of recognizing and valuing the people in our lives before they depart. Injecting a bit of humor, it's like discovering that you've been enjoying plain toast all along, and then someone introduces you to jam. Once the jam is gone, each slice of plain toast becomes a stark reminder of what's missing. Navigating through this realization, it's crucial for individuals to leverage this newfound appreciation as a foundation for enhancing future interactions. This lesson emphasizes the importance of cherishing relationships while they last, and recognizing that the value of people in our lives should never be underestimated. To conclude with a motivational nudge, if you've experienced such a revelation, harness it as a driver for personal development. Turn the sorrow of loss into a motivator for greater appreciation and proactive involvement in your relationships. Value those around you, express gratitude openly, and seize every opportunity to show love and respect. I invite everyone to share their experiences in the comments. Have you had a moment when the value of someone became evident only after they were gone? How did this realization influence your approach to your current relationships? In our next session, we will explore how such realizations lead to emotional growth and heightened empathy, further enhancing one's life and connections. Join me as we continue to delve into these transformative journeys. Number 4. Emotional maturation. In this next chapter of our journey, we delve into the phase where individuals begin to harness the chaotic energies of initial shock and subsequent emotional turmoil, transforming them into pillars of emotional growth and maturity. Picture emotional growth as a progression in a video game. At first, you're navigating unfamiliar terrain and facing unexpected challenges, but with time, you acquire new skills and insights that improve your ability to move forward. This encapsulates the essence of emotional maturation after a significant departure. It's about refining and stabilizing the turbulent emotions that initially surfaced. This phase is often highlighted by a series of profound realizations, perhaps the most significant being the understanding that not only is survival possible without the departed individual, but thriving is as well. It's akin to realizing you've been pedaling a tandem bicycle alone and deciding to switch to a single rider bike. While daunting at first, this realization brings a sense of liberation. A poignant reflection from the Stoic philosopher Seneca captures this well. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. This perspective frames emotional maturation as a journey of appreciating what you possess, rather than mourning what you've lost. Emotional maturation involves the recognition that one's emotional well-being is not dependent on another's presence, but on a deep-seated resilience and self-contentment. How does one cultivate such maturity? It begins with introspection, taking a deep dive into understanding one's emotional triggers and learning to manage them effectively. Imagine yourself as the captain of a ship navigating through a storm. Emotional maturation is about steering steadily and not being overwhelmed by the turbulence. This stage also requires a shift from merely reacting to challenges to actively navigating through them. It entails adopting a broader perspective, recognizing that every past relationship, even those that have ended, has contributed to personal growth. Each interaction, no matter how fleeting, adds a piece to the mosaic of one's evolving identity. As they mature emotionally, individuals begin to appreciate the calm after the storm. They find solace in solitude, learning to fill moments of silence with acts of self-care and compassion rather than feelings of resentment and yearning. To conclude with a motivational thought, if you're experiencing this transformative phase or know someone who is, remember that the journey itself holds as much value as the destination. The personal growth achieved through managing your emotions is a profound testament to your strength and adaptability. I invite everyone to share their experiences with emotional maturation in the comments below. How have you turned your challenges into opportunities for growth? Your stories are not merely inspiring, they serve as a guiding light for others navigating their own emotional journeys. Coming up next, we'll examine how this newfound emotional maturity affects relationships and personal development. Continue with us as we further explore the rich landscape of transformation and support one another through these life-changing processes. Number 5. Growth through adversity. Discussing the impact of someone walking away, it's essential to understand the significant personal growth that can emerge from such adversity. Picture yourself as a young sapling sheltered under the canopy of a larger tree. Suddenly, that protective tree is uprooted. At first, this exposure seems catastrophic. You might feel vulnerable and exposed. Yet, an unexpected opportunity arises. With newfound space to stretch towards the sunlight, you begin to flourish in ways previously impossible under the shade of the larger tree. Adversity, then, offers a unique chance to thrive, a possibility that manifests only when the familiar comfort is removed. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Fire is the test of gold, adversity of strong men." When someone exits your life, consider it such a fire test. Although initially painful, leaving you feeling raw and exposed, just as gold is refined through flames, so too can your spirit be fortified and polished through the trials of loss and change. Reflect on a recent setback you've encountered, perhaps someone leaving your life, creating a void. It's easy to linger in the shadows of abandonment, but true growth manifests as you step into the self-reliant sunlight. Have you picked up a new hobby? Have you discovered a resilience you hadn't recognized in yourself before? Often it's during these adversity moments that we unearth the most genuine parts of ourselves. Navigating through adversity isn't about negating the pain or the challenges. It's about incorporating them into your narrative. Like a comedian who turns personal struggles into a stand-up routine that resonates with audiences, you too can find ways to lighten your circumstances. Humor serves as a potent remedy for the pangs of loneliness and can alter how you share your story, not only with others, but also with yourself. So, how do we transform adversity into growth? It starts by valuing every experience. Each challenge presents a lesson, akin to how every rigorous gym session builds muscle, even when it feels unbearable. The benefits might not be immediate, but they accumulate, and eventually you'll recognize a stronger, more capable version of yourself in the mirror. Reflection is also crucial. Once the initial shock and pain have eased, take a moment to consider what this hardship has revealed about you. What new abilities have you developed? How have your priorities transformed? What do you now value more? Reflection converts experiences into insights and insights into wisdom. In conclusion, if you find yourself left behind, remember that your path is now one of growth. It may be rough, lonely, or even frightening at times, but it is uniquely yours, brimming with opportunities to evolve into your best self. I invite you to share your adversity growth stories in the comments below. How did you turn a painful ending into a new beginning? Your narratives are not solely your own. They illuminate the path for others weathering their storms. Next, we will explore how navigating these challenges not only bolsters our independence, but also deepens our connections with those who remain in our lives. Join me as we continue to learn, grow, and confront life's challenges together. Number 6. Increased empathy. Exploring the ramifications of walking away reveals a compelling development. It can significantly boost a person's empathy, fostering deeper connections with others. Picture this. You've departed from someone who may not have fully valued the concerted effort you poured into your relationship. In the wake of your absence, they begin to tune into their own emotions and those of the people around them more keenly. It's akin to someone who's been drowning out the world with loud music, finally turning it off and hearing the soft patter of rain for the first time, an enlightening moment. This act of walking away acts like a mirror, reflecting not just what was lost, but also what can be gained in terms of emotional depth. As someone grapples with the sting of separation, they become more attuned to this pain in others. This shared vulnerability becomes fertile ground for cultivating empathy. It's like learning a new language, the language of emotional pain, and suddenly being able to understand and connect with a broader spectrum of humanity. The wisdom of the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius illuminates this transformation. What injures the hive injures the bee. The Stoics emphasize our collective interdependence, suggesting that we are not solitary entities but part of a larger communal network. By initiating a separation, you inadvertently foster a greater appreciation for this interconnectedness in those you leave behind. Reflect on your personal encounters with empathy. How has understanding the pain of loss broadened your compassion? I encourage you to share your insights in the comments below. How has walking away enriched your ability to empathize with others? To conclude, consider that every emotional trial is an opportunity to enlarge your heart's capacity for love and understanding. The act of walking away is not merely about creating distance, but about constructing bridges of empathy that can connect previously distant hearts. Let's continue to embrace the learning and growth that come from deepening our understanding of the silent, binding language of empathy. Number 7. Strengthening independence. The act of someone walking away often catalyzes a significant shift towards independence for those left behind. It's like being dropped into the wilderness with only a compass. Initially, the thought might be daunting. However, as you navigate through this new terrain, you learn not just to survive, but to thrive independently. Seneca's insight, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that they are difficult," serves as a guiding light in this journey of newfound autonomy. This Stoic wisdom encourages embracing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to success. As you begin to handle things on your own, from everyday tasks like fixing a leaky faucet to more significant undertakings like planning your future, you build resilience and confidence. Each minor accomplishment reinforces the understanding that you can not only survive on your own, but also excel. To add a touch of humor, think of yourself as the captain of your ship, navigating through uncharted waters. You're no longer just circling the island. You're venturing towards new horizons, occasionally combating the sea monsters of doubt and loneliness. After all, what's an adventure without its thrilling moments? I encourage you to share in the comments what's an independence milestone you've achieved that once seemed unattainable. Your stories are not merely inspiring. They illustrate how our toughest moments can pave the way for our most significant achievements. In conclusion, remember that each step you take on your own is a stride towards not only independence, but empowerment. The journey may begin with a departure, but it unfolds with discoveries that redefine your capabilities and potential. Stay with me as we continue to explore the transformative effects of walking away, and keep in mind that the path to independence is also the path to discovering your true potential. Number 8. Realigning priorities. Following the tumultuous wake of departure, a significant transformation begins. Those left behind start to view their lives through a new lens, reassessing what truly matters. It's akin to navigating with a map that suddenly lacks several roads, compelling them to chart a new path forward. Imagine waking up one day to realize that you've been operating on autopilot, filling your days with routines and commitments that no longer contribute to your highest good. It's somewhat humorous, like realizing you've been eating cereal every morning out of habit, when what you really crave is a lavish stack of pancakes, complete with syrup and all the toppings. This realization isn't just amusing, it's a profound moment of clarity. This phase involves sifting through the clutter of daily life. Seneca's wise words resonate here. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. This Stoic insight emphasizes the importance of prioritizing what truly adds value to your life, rather than accumulating more tasks, more responsibilities, more stress. For those recalibrating their lives in the wake of separation, this may mean reducing social commitments that are more exhausting than fulfilling, or reconsidering career ambitions that no longer reflect their true values. It's about pinpointing what is genuinely important and mustering the courage to prioritize those aspects. It's not merely about having less, but about enriching your life with more of what truly matters. Now, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you experienced a moment of clarity that prompted you to realign your priorities? How did it influence your approach to daily life? As we proceed, bear in mind that realigning your priorities is not about losing focus, but rather about refining it. It's about consciously filling your life with pursuits and relationships that genuinely matter. Let's embrace this mindset as we navigate our individual journeys, ensuring that each step we take is in harmony with our deepest values and aspirations. Keep moving forward, my friends. The best version of yourself is just around the corner. Number 9, renewed sense of purpose. Once the storm of initial shock has passed, a remarkable transformation begins to unfold, the discovery of a renewed sense of purpose. It's as if the script of your life, one you thought was written for you, suddenly changes. What was once a supporting role in someone else's story becomes the lead role in your own. This shift, while initially intimidating, is ultimately liberating. Imagine redecorating a house you've lived in for years. You start moving things around, throwing out what no longer serves you, and suddenly the space feels fresh and authentic. Finding a new sense of purpose after someone walks away is similar. You're rearranging your priorities to fit the person you are now, not the person you were in the relationship. Seneca wisely noted, "It is not what we have that will make us a great nation. It is the way in which we use it." In the same way, it's not the relationships we hold that define us, but how we grow from them. The end of a dependency can mark the beginning of self-discovery, helping you identify what truly drives and fulfills you. Acting on this newfound purpose is like cultivating a garden where barren land once existed. Every choice, every action, is a seed planted for a future shaped by your own ambitions and desires. I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments. Have you ever discovered a renewed sense of purpose after a major change or loss? What did that feel like? How did it reshape your life? These stories remind us that every ending carves out room for fresh and exciting beginnings. Let's keep pushing forward, not just to recover, but to discover new paths filled with passion and purpose. Keep stepping boldly into your new roles, and let the world see how brightly you shine when you're living life on your own terms. Number 10, closure and new beginnings. This chapter is all about closing the book on one part of life and stepping confidently into the next. It's the moment where the person you left behind fully embraces the end of one chapter and eagerly anticipates the start of something new. Imagine watching the final episode of a long series. You know it's coming to an end, but you're not ready until that finale wraps everything up perfectly, leaving you satisfied and eager for what's next. This is the kind of closure we're talking about, finding the right moment to tie up loose ends and move forward. As Seneca reminds us, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. This profound truth resonates here. Your departure wasn't just an ending. It was a necessary closing of one door to allow another to open. It's like pulling weeds from a garden to make space for new, beautiful flowers to bloom. In this space, the person you left behind finds strength in their solitude, discovers hidden talents, and unearths new passions that may have been overshadowed by your presence. And to lighten the mood, Think of closure as finally getting rid of that old, unreliable fridge that's been taking up space in your kitchen. Sure, you feel a tinge of nostalgia, but look at all the room for something new and shiny. Closure isn't just about saying goodbye, it's about laying the groundwork for new beginnings. It's about standing on the threshold of a new life, inspired by the journey and the lessons learned along the way. So, drop a comment below if you've found closure in your own experiences. How did you embrace your new beginning? Your stories and reflections not only help others feel less alone, but also inspire them to find their own closure and new starts. Thanks for joining me on this journey, my friends. Remember, every ending is a new adventure waiting to unfold. Let's keep moving forward, embracing each chapter of life with courage and excitement. Here's to new beginnings and the wonderful surprises they bring. If you're ready to embrace your own journey of closure and new beginnings, hit that like button and subscribe for more insights on navigating life's transitions with Stoic wisdom. Share your stories in the comments below, and let's keep growing together as a community. Here's to turning every ending into a thrilling new start.